Hello and welcome to the Tuesday, December 10th, 2019 edition of Tesla Daily on Official Tesla Podcast. My name is Rob Maurer. Today we are talking about updated short interest, a Tesla energy project, and a couple other rumors. Pretty quick episode today, not a whole lot of news. Long episode yesterday, obviously, and then we have a longer episode coming tomorrow as well. Tesla stock on the day today did finish up 2.7% to $348.84. That compared to the NASDAQ down 0.1%. Some of that increase today may have been driven by a new price target from Exane BNP Paribas on Tesla. They had initiated coverage a couple months back with a $300 price target, and they've now increased that to $400 per share. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find any details from that updated note. Another question I got today was related to the USMCA, that is the proposed trade agreement that would be replacing NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. That received support today from Democrats in the House. It's not fully passed yet, so we don't have all of the details, but it is supposed to have a bigger impact on the auto industry. Automobiles and auto parts are the main drivers of a roughly $80 billion trade deficit the U.S. has with Mexico, which is the second largest trade deficit the U.S. has, with the first obviously being China. But anyway, the question was whether or not the support the Democrats gave today to the USMCA had a positive impact on Tesla's stock. And just looking at the other US automakers, I don't think it had a material impact today. While Tesla was up 2.7%, GM was down 0.8%, Ford up 0.7%, and Fiat Chrysler down 0.7%. So pretty mixed results. So I think the increase that we saw from Tesla specifically today was more around that price target, and then just a combination of all the things that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, the overreaction to the Cybertruck unveiling, recovering from that, the excitement building as we get closer to the end of Q4, and more excitement for Gigafactory Shanghai and probably some Model Y excitement mixed in there as well. All right, so taking a quick look at short interest, we got updated numbers after market close today for the settlement date of November 29th. These are the first numbers that we've had visibility to since the Cybertruck unveiling, so pretty interesting. And short interest was actually down from November 15th by almost 2 million shares. So we were at 30.6 million shares sold short on November 15th. Now we're down to 28.7 million shares sold short. So about a 6% decline over those couple of weeks. So kind of interesting, even though short interest was down 6%, share price was actually down 6% as well. So on the 15th, share price was at about $352 per share. And then on the 29th, down to about $330 per share. With how far short interest has dropped the last couple of months, we're down 20% just in the last 2 months in short interest. I was kind of surprised to see it continue to fall after the Cybertruck unveiling. These numbers are from more than a week afterward, though, so we would have had the order numbers by then, but still, just with how controversial and polarizing it's been, and just the declines that we've seen in short interest, I was a bit surprised to see it continue to fall. I obviously think it should continue to fall, as I think the fundamental strength of Tesla's business continues to improve, and the upside of having a short position is no longer what, people may have thought it would have been in the past. Not myself included, but that's another conversation. But either way, it looks like the stock price decline that we saw over that couple week period was not driven by an increase in short interest. Our next update on short interest will be on December 24th for the settlement date of December 13th. Next is some news on a Tesla energy project for Alaska. It's been reported by Clean Technica. The Homer Electric Association, which is an energy co-op that services a southern peninsula of Alaska called the Kenai Peninsula, has announced their partnership with Tesla to install a 93 megawatt hour battery energy storage system. Details are pretty sparse on this, but they did say that the project is expected to be in service fall of 2021. So a pretty long lead time project here, and I'm not sure exactly the reason for that, if that's more on their side or more on Tesla's side, but I would guess more on their side. And in terms of project details, they said, quote, "This will result in greater system efficiencies, lower greenhouse gas production, and reduced power outages," end quote. They didn't share any details on financials, but we may be able to use the recent increase in the South Australian Hornsdale Energy Project to estimate. That recent expansion was about 65 megawatt hours for $71 million. So if the cost per kilowatt hour ends up being similar here, this would be roughly a $100 million project. Or if we put it in terms of Model 3s, about 2,000 Model 3s. Last thing today is what is becoming somewhat of our daily update on the Gigafactory Shanghai rumor mill. And the first piece of this is actually confirmed. So this is from Tesla_Mania on Twitter, who noticed that the order page in China for the Made in China Model 3, which had previously stated, quote, Made in China Model 3 is subject to regulatory approval, end quote, has now had that statement removed from the order page. So another good sign that Tesla now has secured regulatory approval in its entirety and can begin delivering. The other thing going around Twitter, which definitely gets filed in the rumor mill category, is that somebody talked to a store employee in Shanghai that said that they had already begun deliveries for Made in China Model 3s. Now this is, again, third or fourth hand information, so take it for what it's worth, but just wanted to pass that along as well. And that's really it for today. So as always, thank you for listening. If you have questions or feedback, you can send those to me at tesladailypodcast@gmail.com. I'd also encourage you to follow me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast. And if you want to support the podcast, you can learn more about doing that at patreon.com/Tesla Daily Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Wednesday, December 11th episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.